Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Boys Unknown. SBMM, or skill-based matchmaking, continues to be a very hot topic in the first-person shooter community, especially with Halo Infinite's new Halo 3 Refueled playlist and the launch of Modern Warfare 3. And that takes us to this article and Max Hoberman's reply to it, basically dropping absolute knowledge bombs about skill-based matchmaking. If you don't know who Max Hoberman is, he's the founder and CEO of the gaming studio Certain Affinity, and he was the former multiplayer online and UX design lead for Halo 2 and 3. The golden age of Halo, you could say. So he goes on to drop a knowledge bomb about skill-based matchmaking and how he had it in Halo 1 and 2 and his philosophy. But before we get into Max Hoberman's knowledge drop here on SBMM, we gotta talk about the garbage gaming journalist article that sparked this chain of tweets. Wanting an even playing field in your multiplayer lobbies isn't a skill issue. Opinion: it's pretty simple. Skill-based matchmaking improves first-person shooters for most players. So basically, this journalist goes through a extremely basic explanation of what SBMM is. An algorithm that groups players of similar skill together for more balanced games. How is this so controversial? Yet this is easily one of the biggest features that content creators talk about and people complain about most. I think it's time to stop moaning about skill-based matchmaking. If you're outside the FPS bubble, it might seem like a strange thing to be upset about, especially when you consider SBMM is a great idea on paper. Getting home from a long day at work, the last thing you would want to do is sit down for a relaxing round of Modern Warfare 2, only to be dropped into an unrelenting meat grinder of a lobby where you're repeatedly eviscerated by the same one or two sweaty teams hopped up on Mountain Dew energy and an aversion to the outside world. Okay, now first things first, there's no such thing as a relaxing game of Modern Warfare 2, and that is because of SBMM, which is pretty ironic. And the second thing, so this is the argument that SBMM defenders always draw from. Nobody is calling for SBMM to be removed entirely. This is just a garbage cop-out oversimplification. People just want it toned down like it used to be, where there was a variety in games. That's the problem with SBMM nowadays. Zero variety. Every game has to be perfectly balanced. Facing off against players with a similar level of practice is a good way to ensure that you're going to have the most enjoyable possible experience. When the biggest AAA shooters like Battlefield and Call of Duty live and die on their huge casual audiences, a vast swath of users who would quietly move on to other things if the experience was to become too frustrating, SBMM is a necessary part of maintaining a healthy player base. Now, obviously, this is true, and that's why SBMM is a crucial part of having a healthy player base. But modern SBMM systems have gone way too far with this shit, man. To the point where every match has to be perfectly balanced, and nobody wants that. That makes it even sweaty for casual players. Then he goes on to say, you know, obviously it wouldn't be fun if you just killed everyone 50 kills to 1 death every game. That wouldn't be fun. Yeah, obviously, no one is asking for this shit, dude. No one is asking for SBMM to just give you a lobby where you just shit pump everyone. We just want a balanced experience like we used to have, and like Max Hoberman is going to explain for us in a minute. And then down here, he basically is just blaming content creators because they have a clear profit motive to make things unfair as possible here. And while the removal of SBMM certainly makes the lives of the small minority easier, it's an incredibly short-sighted mission. He's basically goes on to say that, oh yeah, wouldn't you content creators love it if there was no SBMM, so you could just shit pump everyone every game and have endless amount of clips to make on your YouTube videos and your flashy TikTok. Just a garbage take. Again, nobody wants SBMM to be fully taken out. We just want it toned down. And this is where Max Hoberman comes in. The ignorance here is infuriating. Talking about the article we just went over, I see a mention of skill-based matchmaking component I designed for Halo 2 and 3 on this site every so often. It's usually mentioned reverently, but then an outlier jumps in to claim it can't work today. I disagree. What I implemented clearly divided the space into ranked and unranked matchmaking playlists. Ranked filtered opponents based on level. This was for when you wanted a competitive match. Even then, I intentionally allowed variability in the range of levels we matched you with. This variability was a topic of hot debate internally. During development 20 years ago, obviously no one wants to get stomped continuously. On the flip side, it gets dull for most people to continuously stomp on others. However, it is fun having the upper hand some of the time. Oh, what's this? Almost like a balance? So in Halo Infinite, this is a huge problem because it doesn't feel like there's a separation between ranked and unranked. The normal playlist feels so sweaty because the SBMM system is designed to almost every match have a perfectly equal outcome. And the better you play, the worse it gets, even to the point of not being able to find matches because the system prioritizes matching your skill over just getting into a quick lobby. By intentionally allowing a range of skills to match each other, we provided 3 experiences in ranked matchmaking. An easier one where you can kick butt, a harder one where you're likely outmatched, and an evenly matched one. My theory was that a good mix of these 3 was ideal. This is what I'm talking about. This is what everyone wants when they say, let's get rid of SBMM, let's tone down SBMM. This is what people want, dude. They don't want to get rid of SBMM and just shit pump everyone every game. So why not always evenly match people though? My reasoning was that these are actually the most stressful matches of the set. And if you've ever played any modern shooter, you'll know this is a fact. The game almost becomes too stressful. Sure, they're the most fun to watch for spectators. Games come down to the wire. That's because the team that wins is the team that outperforms expectations. Yeah, but you know what? Joe Schmo, who comes home from his day of work, doesn't want to play in a fucking esports tournament. He just wants a variety experience where, you know, some games are tight, some games he's crushing, and some games it's all right to get your ass kicked, because getting your ass kicked makes the games where you crush the other team feel even better. So you have to have a balance. The failure of modern skill-based matchmaking, in my humble opinion, is that it's designed to maximize these perfect match scenarios and minimize the others. When it's working, a majority of games become super tight, super stressful. That's not fun for most players. Where's the variability? Right, I couldn't have said it better myself. Where is the variability? Why does every match in Halo Infinite feel like I'm playing in a esports tournament? Maybe when you start playing, you get a little variability, but once you start playing for longer, I swear you get locked in every game. You have to play balls to the walls. You can't relax. You can't take a sip of fucking water while you're playing, dude. You can't take a pee. You can't do anything, all right? You're locked in. You better fucking have your Adderall and your monster ready, like this guy jokes about. But at the end of the day, casual players need to be fucking crushing monster if the lobbies are this fucking sweaty. The system that I designed for ranked playlists ensured a healthy mix. Sure, it sucks watching your favorite team get their butt kicked, but it comes full circle when they're the ones kicking butt. Throw in a tight, evenly matched game every so often, and that's a ton of fun. Exactly. I haven't even gotten to the unranked playlist yet. I designed these to not factor in skill level in the search for opponents. Yes, our engineers utilized the same code base and kept skill level as a search criteria, but we substantially deprioritized it in matchmaking. Again, in Halo Infinite, it does not feel like there's any separation between ranked and unranked. And what is the point of that? Even if you're playing Super Fiesta, I've had some of the sweatiest games of Super Fiesta that I've ever played. Hell, even Husky Raid gets incredibly sweaty with the SBMM. And that's supposed to be a completely social playlist. We also didn't track skill level globally, only per playlist. The net result was that unranked matchmaking allowed a very wide range of skill levels to match each other for what everyone agreed was casual, inconsequential fun. Again, that's the way it should be in my opinion, and I totally agree. Since the natural skill level distribution of players follows a bell curve, there are outliers. Inherent low skill and high skill players. Characterizing the high skill ones as sweaty teams hopped on Monster Energy Drink is really disrespectful. Absolutely facts. Just because someone is better at the game doesn't mean that they're popping fucking Monster Energy Drinks. But they do need to pop Monster Energy Drinks and sweat their balls off if they're playing a modern game with a modern SBMM system, which is, you know, very ironic when it comes full circle. Segregating high skill players from the population at large and forcing long wait times on them is a form of discrimination. Designers should strive to find a way that players of all skill levels can have fun together. Casual, inconsequential, unranked matchmaking is the way. Now, speaking of segregating high skill players, Mint Blitz, one of the Halo Infinite's most vocal supporters, can barely find matchmaking games because his skill level is so high that if they can't find enough good players to match with him, they straight up won't let him play the game. That's insane. What happened to Ping is King? Modern SBMM literally punishes players for getting better at the game. What's the point of trying to improve in a game if you're just gonna be punished by longer wait times and more difficult games? It's a fucking joke. At the end of the day, most people play these video games for fun. Not everyone's trying to be an esports pro. Game devs shouldn't take the easy way out and default to segregation though. There's far more that can be done. Derogatory views like this among game devs is a cop-out and a disservice to players. Absolute facts. This article is a complete farce, honestly. It's just a straight cop-out. Oh, SBMM is good. Content creators just want you to get rid of SBMM so they can make more money on YouTube. Yeah, that's why I want to get rid of SBMM, so I can post clips. That's what I care about. So I can go 50-0 every single game, because that's really fun. That's exactly what we want. No, nobody wants to fully get rid of SBMM. Every online shooter has had it. We just want the old school SBMM that gave us a nice balance of experiences, not the perfect match bullshit SBMM that we get nowadays, where every game feels like a fucking esports tournament and you're punished for being good at the game. Like and subscribe.